More now on those record food prices. We're joined by the economist who wrote that UN report today that showed global food costs increased for the 8th consecutive month. The findings also indicated those prices are likely to keep on rising. Welcome to the show, Abdolreza Abbassian. He's senior economist at the United Nations, live for us today in Rome. Welcome to InBusiness. How close are we to crisis?
Thank you for the invitation. Well, prices are extremely high. As you mentioned, this is the 8th consecutive month that these prices are rising. And with now oil markets also in turmoil, it is possible that prices rise further, although April is going to be a critical month when we know more about plantings and hopefully the prospects for 2011 crops. So I would say that we are in a very, very uncertain territory.
So what is the primary driver here? Excuse me. Is it weather? Is it supply? Is it unrest that's disrupting the food chain? I mean, we've seen a face put on inflation with these riots. What's the chief cause?
Well, I think the main cause hasn't changed really. It has to do with the supply and weather disruptions we had in 2010, which affected major growing areas. And then on the demand side, people actually are getting richer, and it doesn't seem that we are getting much rationing on the demand. And as a result, the prices rise. The recent events, be it the events in North Africa or Middle Eastern countries, or the recent increase in the price of oil, are just added uncertainties, but we don't believe that these are the drivers for the current high prices.
They may not be the drivers, but you think that the price of oil right now will be a contributor to that increase from where we are?
Well, the number we published today refers to February. The prices rose of oil really more recently, just during the last week and since. But the problem with that is that one of the things we could have said until now as a distinction between this situation and the food crisis of 2007 and 8 has been the lower oil prices. Yeah. I hope that they can continue to say so, because should oil prices do increase significantly, then through biofuels it could have implications for the food sector. So
what's the time frame that you are looking at there for that follow through, where oil does become dangerous in terms of contributing significantly to a hike?
Well, I think the moment the market feels that the oil prices are not high temporarily, simply because there is some political problem or a supply shock of a temporary nature, the situation could really get worse. If, on the other hand, this is something that could settle within a matter of another week or two, I believe that situation, at least oil, become more neutral to a market that is already very agitated. Already the prices are very high, and already we are dealing with very volatile situation. So with or without oil, I think that the situation for the next 4 or 5 months are going to be not so different, unfortunately, to the trend we have so far witnessed, at least until since August 2010.
But the next 2 weeks critical, you say. This morning we saw that Myanmar banned rice exports. You've said rice is really what's keeping us from tipping into crisis. Do you expect more countries to ban exports?
Well, we certainly hope they don't, especially because there's no reason for it. There are ample supplies of rice, and on top of it, really the prospects from countries from Thailand to Cambodia, the prospects for secondary crops are very good. So we hope that this certainly will not be the case. However, when food inflation hits vulnerable countries, even if the rice situation is good, they could start making decisions which would ultimately result in higher world prices. We had a scenario like that in 2007 and 8, if you recall. So we hope very much that that will not be the case. If it's about rice alone, really there shouldn't be a reason. However, countries are worried about food inflation, and food inflation is beginning to bite in almost every country around the world.
Thank you so much for joining us and sharing the details of this report. I know you're watching the price of food very carefully, and those kitchen table economics becoming more and more real for all of our viewers. Thank you.